It sounds like fiction. The United States splitting into two countries, one blue, one red. But if it actually happened, what would daily life look like? Who gets the debt, the dollar, the military, Social Security payments, and who issues passports? Today, we explore the logistics and the legal barriers to a peaceful split. There are many ways to imagine a split. 3 common scenarios. Partisan state split. Every state that voted majority Republican becomes Country A. Every Democratic state becomes Country B. Regional split, East/West or North/South blocks that account for economic geography. Negotiated carve-outs and enclaves, metropolitan areas, military bases, and strategic ports become bargaining chips, creating enclaves and complicated borders. Each produces very different logistical headaches. Legally, unilateral secession is essentially blocked in U.S. law. The Civil War and Supreme Court rulings, Texas versus White, 1869, make clear states cannot unilaterally leave the Union. Any peaceful split would require constitutional amendment and near-unanimous political will. Extremely unlikely. So the scenario is mainly a thought experiment, but useful for exploring systemic vulnerabilities. Social Security is a federal program paid from a national trust fund and payroll taxes. If the country split, immediate questions arise. Does the federal treasury continue payments to all beneficiaries? Likely outcomes: a negotiated transitional payment, an agreed legacy obligation, one side pays more, or each country assumes responsibility for residents inside its borders. That would require massive accounting and political negotiation, and any interruption would create a humanitarian crisis for retirees. The U.S. dollar and the Federal Reserve are central. A split could produce several paths. One successor state keeps the name United States and the dollar. The other must adopt a new currency or dollarize, use the dollar informally. Debt allocation would be negotiated, shared proportional to GDP or population, or assigned by negotiation. International creditors would demand clarity. Markets would punish uncertainty with huge yield spikes. If both wanted the dollar, only one could control monetary policy unless a joint central bank agreement is created. Rare and fragile. The United States has the world's largest military and a vast nuclear arsenal. Questions: who controls the nuclear stockpile, bases, and the chain of command? The most probable international response is that nuclear weapons remain under a unified command, or under one successor recognized internationally, because splitting control raises existential risks. But even deciding which new state controls what bases, East Coast versus West Coast, would be a diplomatic and security nightmare. New international borders would require passports, customs, and immigration rules. Would Americans be forced to move? Logically, people could remain where they are, but citizenship, taxes, and legal rights could change for them. Many would relocate, especially politically motivated movers, e.g., a Republican living in a Democratic state. But moving costs, family ties, jobs, home ownership, and state laws would blunt large-scale migration. Expect initial spikes in relocation, but not a mass exodus. A split would disrupt federal payments, trade, and supply chains. Critical effects: markets, immediate flight to safety, currency, and bond market chaos. Trade, internal tariffs could appear, raising prices. Ports and logistics hubs would be contested. Business, companies with national footprints would reorganize, potentially shifting headquarters and legal domicile. Overall, growth would slump until legal and monetary arrangements stabilize. For everything to function, other countries must recognize successor states. Recognition determines access to IMF, World Bank, SWIFT, and trade deals. If major partners favor one side, the other could be marginalized economically. The security environment would also change. Defense treaties, NATO ties, and global alliances would need rewriting. What would the two countries be called? Plausible names: United States of America, retained by one side, and the other could be Republic of America, American Union, or a regional name, e.g., Pacific States. Capitals could be Washington, D.C. for one, and a new seat for the other. Denver, Austin, or Philadelphia are candidates. But symbolic choices would be politically explosive. The bottom line: peaceful breakup is legally and politically improbable. The practical costs, economic collapse risk, Pension disruptions, defense nightmares, and international non-recognition make it a poor solution to political polarization. More likely outcomes for deep divisions are negotiated power sharing, regional autonomy, or strong federal reforms, not secession. Thought experiment or roadmap? Which parts surprised you most? Drop a comment, subscribe to Market Atlas, and tell us what split scenario you think would be fairest, if it ever came to that.